in the fall. When you see geese heading south for the winter flying along in V formation, you might be interested in knowing what science has discovered about why they fly that way. It has been learned that as each bird flaps its wings, it creates uplift for the bird immediately following. By flying in a V formation, the whole flock lifts at least 71% greater flying range than if each bird flew on its own. Whenever a goose falls out of formation, it suddenly feels the drag and resistance of trying to go through it alone. So it quickly gets back into formation to take advantage of the power of the flock. When the lead goose gets tired, he rotates back in the wing and another goose takes over. The geese hunk from behind to encourage those in front to keep their speed. Finally, when a goose gets sick or is wounded and falls out, two geese fall out of the formation to help and protect the injured one down. They stay with him until he is either able to fly or until he is dead, and then they launch out with another formation to catch up with their group. The geese story was the metaphor used by Redemptorist priest Father Martin Tobin in February 2000 during the 32nd anniversary of the Perpetual Help Credit Cooperative PHCCI based in Tacloban City.
People who are part of a team and share a common direction get where they are going quicker and easier because they are traveling on the trust of one another and lift each other up along the way. If we have as much sense as a goose, we will stay in formation and share information with those who are headed the same way that we are going. So let us continue to stick together. It pays to share leadership and take turns doing hard jobs. Words of support and inspiration help energize those on the front line, helping them to keep pace in spite of day-to-day pressures and fatigue. So let's continue to encourage our leaders in the PHCCI. When one of us is down, it's up to the others to stand by us in our time of trouble. If we have the sense of a goose, we will stand by each other when things get rough. Let's by all costs avoid the plague of individualism in the cooperative movement.
To remain faithful to the principles of the cooperative movement, to stay united, and to continue to help one another along the way, the words of the Redemptorist priest have a resonance in the past, present, and future of PHCCI. The birth of the PHCCI is closely linked with the mission work of the Redemptorist congregation in the Philippines. In 1906, the congregation, composed of Irish and Australian missionaries, set up the first Redemptorist foundation in the Philippines and Asia in Opon, old name of Lapu-Lapu City, in Mactan Island, Cebu Province. After more than 3 decades, the Redemptorist fathers went to Leyte and in 1960 built a church in Tacloban City in honor of Our Lady of Perpetual Help. 7 years later, they were granted their own parish. The Redemptorists were overjoyed, but elation turned into gloom as they assessed reality on the ground. The parish hillside and seaside communities were very poor, and people had nobody to teach them how to improve their lives.
Those places on the shore were very vulnerable, and Leyte was visited by very many typhoons in those days. The people down by the seashore would come into our church, seek shelter.
In 1967, The Redemptorists, led by Father Flan Daffy, commissioned the Asian Social Institute to do a baseline economic survey of the new parish. ASI recommended the setting up of cottage industries and a credit union to mitigate poverty and uplift the economic situation of the people. Following the ASI direction, the Redemptorists helped people put up cottage industries. People tried making placemats out of coconut leaves, but because there were not enough raw materials, the project failed. The debacle didn't faze the Redemptorists. In 1968, Father Flan Daffy and the late Father Abdon Husol organized a credit union within the parish. They encouraged parishioners to attend cooperative seminars featuring speakers who were then running very successful co-ops in Cagayan de Oro and Cebu City. Recruitment was rigid. Father Flan Daffy required each prospective member to attend seminar meetings every Saturday for 8 weeks. At the end of 2 months, members were handed out a certificate of completion. The training modules were complemented by a short skit or drama during Sunday Mass. In lieu of homily, young parishioners staged a short play to dramatize how a credit union bailed out families in financial distress. Meanwhile, another Catholic congregation was already involved in social action to alleviate poor living conditions in southern Leyte. In the early 60s, the Scarborough Missionaries, a Canadian congregation, arrived at the central town of Hinundayan, southern Leyte. The Canadian priests were familiar with cooperatives, having learned it from the Cody Institute in Nova Scotia, Canada. They introduced the co-op system through a parish program called Saving Souls, the Credit Union Way. The credit union became very successful in Hinundayan, so the Scarborough Fathers replicated the program in Hinunangan, Anahawan, Silago, Kabalian, and St. Bernard in southern Leyte. One of the Canadian priests who worked actively in co-op organizing was Anthony Tony Martin, who became a close friend of Father Flan Daffy. Tony Martin made numerous visits to Tacloban and shared his knowledge about the co-op system. The work of the Scarborough Fathers in helping the poor inspired the Redemptorists. After months of intensive education seminars, the co-op was finally registered in April 1969 with 33 founding members. It was named Perpetual Help Credit Cooperative Incorporated with a paid-up capital of $1,201.94. 10 years after its registration, the co-op exceeded 1 million pesos in assets, fixed deposits, and loans granted. The inauguration of the PHCCI office building in 1993 enhanced the co-op's visibility in the area. The PHCCI building stands out in the busy commercial district of Tacloban City. Located in Calle Real, it is close to the Perpetual Help Parish Church. To further boost its strength and tremendous growth, PHCCI signed affiliate agreements with secondary co-ops like NATCO, Victo National, and the Victo Visayas Central Fund, VCF. The linkages with external partners enabled the co-op to embrace computer technology, and in 1997, PHCCI fully implemented computerization of its financial operations. Members were served better, resulting in greater efficiency and income. In 1998, or barely a year after computerized operations, co-op assets reached the 100 million peso mark. As it joined the Elite Century Co-ops Club, the PHCCI was recognized by the Cooperative Development Authority, CDA, as the most outstanding co-op credit category in the provincial, regional, and national levels. The second PHCCI building was finished in 1999. The fitness center is well equipped and caters to members or non-members. The Perpetual Health Learning Center was established on June 5, 2005. It offers pre-elementary education to children of co-op members. Recently, PHCCI embarked on a vigorous marketing campaign. The Education Committee goes out regularly on outreaches, bringing the co-op even closer to the people. PHCCI was rocked by a crisis in leadership in 2001. Internal problems threatened the very existence of the co-op. Cognizant of the role to preserve the co-op, members of the board of directors moved to contain and solve the problem, leading to, yet again, another leadership change in 2003. Looking back, there were important lessons learned from the painful experience. Tested by difficulties and strengthened by trials, PHCCI became stronger. The crisis in leadership seemed a blessing in disguise. In 2005, the co-op's asset rose to over 208 million pesos, indicating that the existing market may have reached its saturation point. The situation prompted PHCCI, led by then BOD Chair Attorney Sione V. Gaspay, to branch out in Alang-Alang in 2005, making services and products available to members in the northern part of Leyte Province. In 2006, the Dulag branch was opened. With 2 new branches, the co-op's assets soared even higher, bringing it to more than 360 million pesos. Buoyed by the positive performance, PHCCI ventured deeper into southern Leyte and opened its 3rd branch in Ormoc City in November 2008. The 4th branch in Sugod, southern Leyte, was launched in February 2009. This was followed by the opening of the Babatmon Satellite Office. In 2012, PHCCI opened satellite office in Carigara and Tanawan towns. Construction plans for a new branch in Burungan City, Eastern Samar, are underway. The progress of the branches fueled PHCCI's growth in terms of assets and membership. As a result, members enjoyed a bonanza of benefits, from dividends, rebates, to patronage refunds. Topping the cash windfall is the reduction of interest rates of loan windows in January 2012, in accordance with a board resolution. It was in September 30, 2011, when PHCCI joined the Philippine Billionaires Cooperatives, the first in Tacloban City. The core service of PHCCI is lending. Regular members avail of various loan facilities. PHCCI is a consistent supporter of many public and private schools in Tacloban City and Alang-Alang, giving them logistical support as a way of encouraging honor students and enhancing the school's extracurricular activities. 2 youth representatives sit in the board of directors and take part in crafting policies to make the co-op more responsive to the needs of its members.
every election, it was noted that the same people are coming in and the same age level were the officers of PHCCI. So it was decided then that there should be a representation of the youth in the board. That is one reason, representation in the board. And the second one is to have second liners in the leaders of PHCCI. Infusing new blood means infusing new ideas in the cooperative, in running the cooperative.
PHCCI recently registered the Co-op Lab, paving the way for the mobilization of 36 private and public schools partners in Region 8. PHCCI decided to rewrite the co-op's mission and vision to meet the challenges of the times. Along this line, the implementing rules and regulations for the representative type of voting have been firmed up, ensuring the rationalization of the election process. Plans to upgrade the branch operations in terms of acquiring latest technology as well as streamlining the organizational structure are all in the pipeline. This as the co-op looks to reach 2 billion pesos in assets in 3 to 5 years.
It was good governance and with good execution of the principles of cooperativism. So that is one of the very factor that somehow push this cooperative as one of the billionaire cooperatives in Region 8. As we said in their financial statement that it is growing every year. So it means that they are more productive, and I can be very proud of this cooperative.
But for co-op members, the challenge is to reach out to the poorest of the poor in the co-op's continuing mission towards total human development. As Father Flan Daffy said many years ago, PHCCI must go into the highways and byways and proclaim to all the little people every service and resource the co-op has to offer.